Okay, greetings. We want to thank you for joining us weekly on this Conway Methodist Church uh, Facebook presentation, YouTube presentation. But we really want to get in touch with all of you who may get a chance to view. And today, so privileged to have our good friend, pastor of the First Christian Church in Conway Springs of Kansas. And we are together in our spirit of ecumenism, that we work together. We're all Christians, brothers and sisters. God has given us this opportunity for fellowship. So, thank you for coming to join us. I'm going to ask you a few questions here. And the first one really is for you to just open up and say, who is Wayne?
Who is Wayne? Well, Wayne Stevens was raised about 15 miles from here in Argonia, Kansas. I felt the call of God back in about 86, 87. And then I went to Bible college out at Haviland, Kansas, and got a BA degree from there, which I think stands for bad attitude, I had, because I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
But I had farmed for 10 years before I did that. That was my passion, and I sold out and moved on. And for the last 35-ish, 40 years, I have mostly been in western Kansas for ministry for the United Methodist Church, but I opted to retire in 2020 right after COVID, and I was old enough and it was time to move back to the farm. My wife had lived at the farm for the last 6 years before I moved back full time with her, because we built a house 6 years earlier, got it finished, and she works as a she does wears a lot of different hats at Patterson Hospital down in Anthony, Kansas.
Okay.
So she's been my better half. I'll just say it, Sunday morning, a lady wanted prayer, so she just got up while I kept talking, went and prayed with her, and so we are a team.
A team.
Yes.
Well, talking about your wife, please tell us a little of what you can tell us about your family.
Well, we have 4 children. We had 3 boys and then a girl. We'd only had one if we had the girl first.
Okay.
But I've got, and I get a little confused here. Kind of like keeping money in the bank. It always comes and goes. But my oldest son has 2 children, 2 boys.
Yeah.
And they'll be with me. Oh yeah, I'm not coming next week, so they won't be here next week with me. I plan on bringing them to let them play outside.
Okay.
My second son has a blended family. She had 2, and he had 1, and then they had 2, so they've got 5 altogether.
Okay.
And a couple of them are already out of the nest. Well, all but the 2 youngest, I guess, are out of the nest. And then my youngest son lives in Iowa. We were just up there. And he's single. And I think he'll be an old bachelor when he dies.
Okay.
And then my daughter I got married back in, I think it's 21. I don't know, sometime. It's after I had retired. And she had a destination wedding in Mexico, which I'd rather done it at home, but so we all flew down there for that. And she has a 13-month-old, and she's 6 or 8 months pregnant. So we're expanding the family still. Okay. And she lives in Lawrence. Her and her husband live in Lawrence. And my son that is blended just moved from Lawrence to San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio.
His wife got a little different, it's same company, but a different job, and he stayed with he works for St. Francis Ministries
Oh, okay.
and child care, but he's upper, management, I guess you'd call it. He doesn't go out. He used to deal one-on-one with kids, but he doesn't do that anymore. So,
Well, talking about San Antonio, I drove all the way to Austin over the weekend, so that's not too far from San Antonio. But well, let's go back to your ministry here. Maybe go straight to Conway Springs. When did you come to start your ministry in Conway Springs?
I think it was toward November or December.
Okay.
And I just filled the pulpit for several months, and then about a month and a half ago, they invited me to become their pastor.
Okay.
I had already done a funeral in the church just for a friend of mine and some other stuff. So that's just who I am. I don't change too much. I do a lot of caregiving, going out and visiting and that stuff. But I also like to see church grow.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to grow numerically, but it has to go spiritually.
Yes.
And I think if it grows spiritually, it will eventually become numerical growth.
That's right.
But we live in a tough culture today.
Tough culture.
And in a town this size, and there's we talked a little bit earlier about the father joining us doing stuff.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church. I have a daughter-in-law that's Catholic.
Yeah.
So I understand those dynamics and the differences in how they believe and what we believe, and that's fine. It's just different, but in a culture like this, it's a very strong presence in the area, but it can be that way if you go certain other areas in Baptist area. I mean, there's just Baptist churches everywhere, and so.
Talk about, and that's why we come together as leaders in community, because our members, one member of the family is this side, the other one is this side, grandkids are that other side. Yeah. We are all in one space, and we learn how to be one family. So anyway, let me ask how you've been liking it so far in Conway Springs. I know you live in Agonia, but and maybe how your day as a pastor looks like.
Well, I actually live 5 miles from Argonia and 10 miles from Conway, so I'm in between the two.
In between the two,
so, to date me a little bit, when I was in high school, Argonia and Conway were both 1A schools, and we played each other, and that's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I can't say that it's any different here. Maybe the approach might be a little different when you're not walking up and down the streets every day.
Yeah.
But I have served other small rural churches also. And a lot of them, even in the United Methodist, I had 4 at a time that I served. So I couldn't make every town event every week. I mean, that just was impossible. And plus I was raising all my kids were at home. So, but I don't know about here as far as, I already knew a lot of people here just by doing business.
Yeah.
So
it's not a completely new environment for you. Okay.
And I had been serving a church in Wichita, a large church.
Yeah.
That was, and it was a culture shock, I guess, because I did not know, I'd never done that before.
Yeah.
Because I'd always been able to walk down the streets and kind of know people. And when you got 600-800 there on a Sunday morning, it's hard to get to that.
Okay, how do we do it? But so you've served in. Now you're in Conway Springs. What are the other churches you have served in the past? Or communities?
Probably the largest was Atwood, Kansas.
Okay.
And it was a county seat. Kiowa, Kansas was the second largest church I probably
served.
And then a lot of them, like I said, were rural.
Yeah.
Smaller congregations. Some were 2 points, some were 3 points, some were 4.
And 4 was quite a...
I did 4 for 3 years, and
Wow.
then they moved me to a single point. And
Where was that?
Ness County,
Okay.
where I had 4. They've closed one of those churches since.
Okay, now they have 3.
So there's 3 there.
Well, we are so happy to have you and to be working together in the same community and to be sharing ideas, direction, and seeing how we can bring our community to Christ. As you say, the culture is changing every year, every day. And today is not like yesterday anymore, where you have people who actually came around looking for a church. Now the church is the one that looks for the people. That's a change in culture. Thank you again for coming. Is there anything you feel you could have said that I haven't asked you?
Oh, it's good to be here. It's nice that I can sleep in my own bed at night, not be apart from my wife, and have to drive either 5 hours or 2 hours to get home. And it's really nice to be able, and I'm still going to be a part of the Argonia community also, but I've got a guy from Argonia's next door. I just stopped by and visited him a few minutes ago, and so that's just kind of what I'm not, I call it part-time, full-time, or full-time, part-time.
Well, we are thankful again for you making the time to be here and for us to know about you, all the 35 to 40 years you have invested in ministry, not even in one place, but in all those counties. And to even serve 4 churches at one time. The largest number I've served is 2 churches at one time. So very impressed with what you are doing. This is our way of welcoming you to the community to minister together. And our best wishes for you with the Christian Church. God bless you.
Well, thank you,
Amen.
Jacob.
All right.